Hello, this is Rex from Rex Recites. For this video, we're going to examine something about a Shakespeare play, the one called Hamlet. Let me just give a brief introduction to the play before we begin the brief quotes that I will make from the play. Prince Hamlet is a prince and heir to the throne in Denmark, and he has been sent over to Germany to school for some time. And he gets a call to come back because there's some kind of trouble in the home country that should be taken care of. So he gets back and he discovers within a pretty short space of time that his father, the king, King Hamlet, is dead, that his uncle Claudius, the king's brother, has been accused of killing the king, and that his uncle Claudius has also married his mother, Gertrude, the widow of the king that has been killed, and is now on the throne. So this is what he goes back home to face, he discovers. And in one of his early conversations with a friend, Horatio, he says to Horatio, about this mess, "O cursed spite that ever I was born to set it right." And he doesn't know, frankly, what he's going to do. And it had only been less than 2 months between the funeral and the marriage. And at one point, Hamlet says to his friend, Thrift, Horatio, the funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Quite a bit of sarcasm there. In a few minutes, he launches into one of his fairly famous soliloquies in the play, and most of the soliloquies are entitled by the first line of the soliloquy. And so this one, I'm just going to quote parts of it today. He says, "Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into dew. Or that the everlasting had not given his canon against self-slaughter. Oh God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable are all the uses of the world to me. 'Tis a weeded garden, full of rank and gross things. Only 2 months, no more. No, not even 2 months. Almost wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. This is not, nor cannot, come to good. Break my heart, for I must hold my tongue." Now, why do you suppose he says he must hold his tongue? Well, because he is so torn between the attractive idea of leaving this life, of committing suicide and escaping the woes that he has to deal with in this life. But on the other hand, the woes that come in the afterlife could be worse than the woes you're facing now. So this is a basic dilemma. So what is he going to do about it, or think about it? And so this takes us to the most famous soliloquy of Hamlet, to be or not to be, and probably the most famous piece of literature in Western language, in which Hamlet explored the idea of suicide even more completely than he has in the one that I've quoted so far. To be or not to be, that is the question, whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing in them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's disdain, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might make his quietus with a bare bodkin? Who would these fardels bear to sweat and grunt under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us bear those ills we have than others we know not of. Thus conscience doth make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with a pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment with this regard their current turn awry, and lose the name of action. So Hamlet decides to do nothing. And this is one of the reasons, I think, that this play ends with the stage being littered with dead bodies. This is Rex from Rex Recites saying thank you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so below. Thank you.